record. Okay. So, hello everyone. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing great. It's the second week of Asasi, I guess. Asasi Sem 1. And we have another 16 weeks to go. Cepat je. Dah 2 weeks kan? Okay, let's see. Where did we stop last time? Okay, I talked about problem solving. So let's do a little recap before we start doing exercises. Okay, so I don't like this color, but it's okay. This background is like macam warna lumpur. Okay, tapi saya tak nak prejudice terhadap lumpur. Okay, so what have we learned so far? We talked about, saya akan ulang-ulang lah sampai korang macam dah jemu kan. Scalar and vector quantities. So scalar is a, excuse me, kenapa ni? Hari ni macam tak lucky lah. Please become lucky, Nadia. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we talked about scalar and vector, and I told you scalar is only magnitude, right? Magnitude, and that vector is magnitude and direction. Okay, so nanti kita akan go back to this, the scalar and the vector, because we are going to do multiplications with vectors and scalars. Okay, so we talked about scalar and vector, and then I told you addition of vectors. Ada a few techniques to do that. Addition vectors. You can do the tip to tail, right? Just to recap here. And then you have the tail to tail. Okay, and then you have the triangle law, I think, triangle law. And then you have the component method, which we discovered quite late. I mean, it's the last technique, right? Component methods, which is basically, this is your vector. Basically, you resolve it. The word is resolve into its x and y components. Okay, so I'm resolving my vector A into its x component or ax and into its y component ay. Okay, so any vector can be resolved as long as you know the angle. Okay, so you can resolve it in terms of x, you can resolve it in terms of y. So how do we do that? So ax is equal to a sine, sorry, it's a cosine. It's a cosine, and ay, a cosine theta, and ay is a sine theta. Okay, so cosine goes with x, sine goes with y. Theta is in degrees. Okay, so what else here? So when I resolve my vector A with this angle, okay, when I have an angle, I'm resolving AX and AX is touching the angle. Okay, this is something important. I have an angle, right? So A vector, that angle, when I say A cosine theta, I am resolving into something that is touching the angle, specifically for cosine. Okay, bear with me first. Okay, and then AY is not touching the angle, right? So AY is A sine theta. Okay, let's take another look at this new slide. What if I have an angle like this? Sorry, a vector like this, and my angle is touching here, theta, and I want to know, good job. This is already 90 degrees. So this is my angle over here, and this is my other. Okay, so now that I flipped it, not really flipped it, I totally changed it basically. So I want to know, hey, what is B vector over here and C vector over here, provided that B vector plus C vector is actually A vector. And I have this angle over here. So how do I find C? How do I find B, right? And then there's another info that I give you. This guy over here is, the total is 90 degrees. So basically it looks like this. And kalau kita lukis balik dalam bentuk X and Y, it looks like this. And the theta is over here. This is Y and this is X axis. Tetap. Okay. So this is your Y and this is your X. Kalau kita nak tengok kat sini lah. Okay, so this is how it looks like. Now, how do we do it? Okay, anyone wants to try this? How do I solve for vector C and vector B, provided that B plus C is equal to A? Anyone wants to try? I just gave you a hint earlier in the earlier slide. No one? Everyone's scared? Okay, so I'll just tell you then. Okay, so remember I told you AX vector plus AY vector is equal to A vector. Okay, so with that said, basically I can say that if I resolve A, I can resolve it into B vector and also resolve it into C vector. The only thing here is that the C and the B is not lying in the X or in the Y axis, but it's fine because you know its angle and this is 90 degrees. You know its angle, right? So when okay, so let's say this is 30 lah, okay, and A vector is equal to, sorry, ini macam confusing sikit, but bear with me. This will lead to something. So this is 10. 10, Okay, so I want to find out what is C. So C is equal to A cosine 30. And in this case, A is 10. Kenapa? Can anyone tell me why I'm using cosine here instead of a sine? It looks like it's in the Y. I'm using a cosine. Why?
Because
the angle touch the Y axis.
Yeah, correct. Because the Y is touching because the C is touching the angle. So anything that touches the angle gets the cosine. Okay, anything that touches the angle gets the cosine. So this means that B will get the sine, or 30. Okay, so let's go back to our earlier example now. Which was this guy. Macam buruk kan? Yep, saya lukis balik. So this is the same guy over here. It's 30. Okay, so this is 30. So this guy is touching. So A cosine theta is A vector, and this is A sine theta. If we put the angle somewhere else, okay, if I put the angle somewhere else, it's the same instance, but I give you this angle, which is 60. Pun boleh. So I say this is A cosine theta. Sorry, A sine theta. Ada gangguan lah. Sini, what do you want? Yeah, stop jumping, please. Okay. So 60 degrees. Okay. So if my Y touches the angle, it gets the cosine equation. Something that does not touch the angle gets the sine equation. So when I told you AX is always A cosine theta, it's not always, It's not always the case. It depends on where your angle is. But in this case, our theta, the earlier example that I showed you, the theta was always touching the x-axis. So, which is why we went on with this equation. But in reality, you have to know where your angle is, and the cosine belongs to the component that touches the angle. Okay, so let me write that down.
Miss.
Yeah.
Miss, doctor. If we can the angle of A, the x-axis and y-axis is 90 degrees, right? But if we want to search the angle that, of course, the 60 degrees, and then the x-axis is 40, right? So if we want to use cos only, Miss? Doctor? Can?
Boleh. So you have to know that this is 30 lah. So
Oh, yeah, 30.
bukan 40. So if I use the 60, it will become kita buat dua-dua lah. Okay, to avoid any confusion that may arise later on. So let's go with this one. We start with angle 60. So in this case, the cosine belongs to the y-axis lah. So AY is A is 10, right? A is 10. So 10 cosine 60 and my AX is 10 sine 60. Tapi korang tengok ni, oh I don't like this how it looks like. So I want to I know it's 30 over here, so let me just write that down. So what I can do is this becomes a cosine theta and this becomes a sine theta. So now my AY is a sine 30 and my AX is a cosine 30. Boleh, sama je. As long as you know the angle is touching your component that you're solving for, kena pakai cosine. Can this guy is touching this guy, so this gets the cosine. The angle touching, this angle is touching here. This guy gets the cosine. Okay. That is my formula for you guys lah. If you have another formula to remember this, by all means go ahead. It's we learn different ways, so okay je kalau ada cara lain, as long as it's correct lah. Okay, jangan mandai tapi salah. Alright, moving on. So I hope everyone is clear on this. The angle that touches the axis will always get the cosine. And then going back to, we learned about A vector. Sekejap anak saya buat macam ni. One second. Yeah. Okay, sorry, he was taking selfies and it was bothering me. Okay, so going back to the recap that we did not finish yet. So kita belajar about A vector and we know that it can be resolved into its X and Y. And what if I have my X, my AX and my AY, but I want to know what is the vector? I don't have this guy, but I have this guy and this guy. So I can find out what is A by using this equation. So A is AX squared plus AY squared, square root the whole thing. This will give you the magnitude. Okay, basically it's Pythagoras theorem lah. And then your angle is AY over AX, inverse tangent of that. Okay, so I think previously someone made a mistake and said AX over AY. It should be AY over AX. You have to bear this in mind. It's always the Y at the top. Okay, and then your angle, when you are giving me the angle for your vector, it always refers to theta, always should refer, this is for your answer, refer to the positive x-axis. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all for our recap. So let's start doing some problems. Okay, so this figure shows three forces A, B, and C. Okay, so immediately we know that these are vectors. Kejap, kelas korang belum buat lagi kan problem ni kan? Dah ke belum?
Belum.
Okay, good. So saya tak ingat. Okay, so A, B, and C. Immediately you know that this is a vector because it's bolded. Or in this case, you look at sini, there's a topi arrow kat atas. Okay, topi arrow can be like this or like that. Boleh, dua-dua boleh. So don't get confused if you see different versions of it. Okay, so the figure shows three forces A, B, and C, each magnitude 120, 96, and 150 Newton. Calculate the resulting force. So what is it asking us here? Let's dissect this question. So dia cakap ada 3 forces and they want you to find the resultant. So forces that are of the same unit, you can add them together. That was the rule, right? The rule that we talked about earlier on. So A, B, and C equals to the resultant force. Okay, so we are trying to find out what is R. Okay, so how do we do this one? We can do it tip to tail. We can do it tail to tail. In this case, this is the tail to tail, but it doesn't give us the answer. Because tail to tail, dia kena lukis, it only works if it's 2 vectors. For example, A and B, and then you have to make extend the vector, and then this is your resultant, which does not work here because we have 3. But it only means you can draw it. Draw boleh, solving tak boleh pakai tail to tail. Okay, so let's try the tip to tail first. So tip to tail. Susah nak lukis kat sini. Let me duplicate this slide. Saya tak ingat pula. So 120, okay. 120, 96, and 150. So I'm going to try to do the tip to tail, and I will assign people to do the resolving. Okay, let's assign people for now. So assigning first, I want, sorry, siapa lah? Let me see the list. Hello. Okay. Can I get Aina Sakina to find me the X and Y components of vector A? Okay, Aina. And then Aizat, hari ni semua A lah. Aizat to find the BX and the BY component. And who else? Anik lah, Anik to find the CX and the CY component. Okay, ada tak siapa-siapa nama B kat sini? Oh ada, Batrisha. Okay, Batrisha, you are lucky today. So you have to find out what is RX. Okay, so this is Batrisha. Okay, RY. Let's go for C. C tak ada, so we go for D. Daniel Haris. Daniel. Oh, Haris, sorry. You prefer Haris. Haris. And then I want R for F. Kita nak suruh siapa? Firna lah, Firna. And then the theta, let's go for Hazira. Okay, orang lain, don't worry, your time will come. But orang-orang yang saya assign ni, please try to solve for your whatever that I assigned you with. The rest of you, please try this problem. Try to resolve your A, B, C, and then add all your x's together, add all your y's together, and then try to find the resultant and the theta. Okay, and then I will try to do the tip to tail method and see if our answers are the same. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes because it's pretty easy. So 5 minutes to resolve this. It's okay if you get it wrong. Just try first. Okay, we are here to learn. It's okay. Dalam exam janganlah salahkan. Tapi kat sini tak apa. Kita belajar. So 5 minutes from now is 8:37. Kita kena cepat ya. Sebab masa nak habis dah. I cry. So, stop. Chat. Let's see. Dr. May I go? Yes, you may. Basila, please go. You don't have to ask me permission to go toilet or eat, eh? I can't see you anyways. Everyone, please try, okay? Would I say this is relevant to the exam? Yes, very much likely. Soalan macam ni. What does magnitude stand for? Magnitude is macam nombor. Magnitude is number, which number lah magnitude. Does that answer the question? So you have magnitude and direction, right? Magnitude is just the number, direction is direction lah. So if you have 20 Newton going down, 20 Newton is your magnitude, going down is your direction. Okay, so we have 2 minutes to go. Lama lah pula 5 minit ni kan. Remember what I told you about the guy that touches the angle gets the cosine? You can use it here. Boleh. Excuse me. Okay, 1 more minute to go. I hope Aina, Aizat, and Anik are ready at least. Okay. Okay, is Aina ready?
Yes, miss.
Okay,
Yes,
so
doctor.
how do you find your AX?
X is 120 cos 28.
20 cosine 28. And what's your answer?
105.95.
Okay, Newton. Okay, what about your AY?
120 sine 28. Sine 28. And the answer is 56.34.
Okay, thank you. Did everyone get the same answer as Aina?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Aina, Aizat, Anik. Okay, so Aizat is next. BX. Thank you, Aina. Aizat, are you there? Isaac not there?
Ada.
Baru nak cari. Okay. How did you find your BX?
BS is 69.
96 kan? 96. Okay.
Cos 56.
Cosine 56. Okay. And the answer is?
And the answer is 79.59.
Okay, thank you. And BY?
BY is 96 cos 56.
Cosine 56.
Sai.
Okay, bagus. 56. Okay, the answer is?
53.9. 53.68.
68. Okay. Thank you, Aizat. And next one is Anik.
150 cos 90 degree.
150 cosine berapa?
90 degree.
Cosine 90 degrees. Okay.
I get 0.
And 0.
And then CY 150 sine 90 degree. I got 150
Okay.
Newton.
What about the... Okay, tak apalah. Thank you, Anik. Alright, so let's
Okay.
take a look at the answers that our friends have given us. Okay, so I told you when you resolve your component, the component must be sandwiching the vector, right? So let's try to do that. So for your A, your AX should be over here and your AY should be over here. And for the answer, we got both as positive, which is correct. And then for
Doktor,
B, yeah,
yang jawapan B tu terbalik.
jawapan B tu terbalik. Ni Aizat ke?
Yes, saya.
Okay, so jawapan dia 53 kat atas
Ya.
Okay. So this is... Sekejap, saya tak ingat lah awak kena cakap. 56 point
53.68.
68 Newton and
79.59.
79.59. Okay. Alright, thank you. Okay, so orang lain tak sedar ke mistake Aizat tadi? Okay, so let's take a look at A, and AX is to the right and AY is going up. Okay, so it looks correct here. What we got here is positive and positive. And BY, remember we have to sandwich, the components must be sandwiching the vector. Sandwich lah, terkepit lah, maksud terkepit. So BY is here and BX is over here. But our BX here is positive and our BY here is positive. So BY is okay, but our BX is not negative if we use this value. So how do I correct this so that I get the negative value? Can anyone try? Jawapan ni separa betul. How do I change this equation so that I get a negative in my answer? Anyone wants to try? Hari ni you guys are quiet. Selalu bising. No one wants to try? No one? Everyone is scared of making mistakes. Don't be scared to make mistakes here in class. It's okay. No one? Saya panggil Saya panggil siapa-siapa Okay, let me ask. Who is my lucky winner? Taiba. Is Taiba there? Saya nak panggil Wasilah sebenarnya. Tadi Wasilah pergi toilet. So saya panggil Taiba. Taiba ada tak?
Ada.
Okay. So can you guess? It's okay if you get it wrong. Can you guess how I can get a negative sign over here? Macam mana saya nak tukar equation ni? What can be done to get the negative sign?
Vektor tu tak boleh terbalikkan
Macam mana?
Vektor B.
Vektor B tu tak boleh terbalikkan. You mean terbalikkan this whole arrow?
Direction.
Tak boleh.
Tak boleh.
Boleh.
Tak sure.
Anyone wants to help Tahiba? Come on, helpline.
Vektor B.
Yeah.
180/56.
Yeah, betul. Good job. Rasa macam tengah buat talk show pula. So, when you use the 56, you are not referring it to the x-axis, which is fine. But you have to know that your bx is negative. So, if we follow Aizat punya method ni, which is using cosine 56, Aizat has to know yang bx ni negative. So, dia kena letak negatif dia sendiri. Okay? So, this is something that you need to be kena aware lah. So if you are scared to make a mistake in terms of the sign, you can always refer back to the positive x-axis. And in this case, someone answered correctly. So 180 minus 56 will give you 124. Okay, 124. And cosine of that times with 96, you will get the minus 53.68. Jawapan Aizat betul. Tapi he has to know that the BX is going to the left. And dia boleh letak sendiri kat sini. But if you're not confident, always refer your angle with respect to the positive x-axis. Put in your angle, you will get the minus sign. Okay? So what about BY? For BY, I can put in sine 56 or I can say sine 124. The answer will always be positive. Sebab BY kita ke atas sini. So you will always get positive. So there is no issue in that. So issue dia bila kita ada BX yang ke kiri lah. Okay. So that is something you need to keep in mind. Okay, what about CX? Our CX is going down. So how do we do this? So here we got the 0, which is correct. It doesn't have an X component, nothing. The C is not lying on anywhere in this X. Okay, dia tak ada macam ni. So memang tak ada X component langsung. It's all of it is in the Y. But this guy should have a negative because it's going down. So how do I correct this? This is separa betul, like I mentioned. Anyone wants to try?
Dr. F, sine 270.
Sine 270, yes. So let's see. Sine 270 will give me a minus 1. Minus 1 times with 150, you will get the minus 150. Does it mean that jawapan Anik salah? No, it does not mean that. But he has to know that there's a negative sign associated with this vector. So he has to put it here himself. Okay, boleh. Alright. So kita move on to our next one, which is siapa yang tadi? Lupa dah. Batrisha, betul. Batrisha. Okay, Batrisha. So how do I find my Rx and how do I find my Ry? Oh, ada banyak chat pula. Yes, Batrisha.
I don't get it.
You don't get it.
The Rx.
You don't understand what Rx and Ry means.
I know, but I can find the answer.
Okay, so kita sekarang ada AX, ada BX, and we have the CX. Can you do it now? The Rx?
445.156.
Itu jawapan akhir dia. Okay, macam mana nak kira dia? Bagi tahu saya.
Plus all of it.
Plus all of it, okay. Which is?
445.
No. Apa yang awak tambah? Can you tell me what did you add?
120
120. Okay.
plus 66
66. Okay.
plus 150.
150. Okay. Where did you get the 66?
96.
Oh, 96. Okay. Okay, saya dah faham dah. So Batrisha said Rx is
Horizontal.
120 plus 96 plus 150. Okay, Batrisha, this is not correct. So I will tell you why. So Rx is when you adding vectors that are not in the same direction. So A, B and C is not in the same direction, which is why kita kena resolve dia jadi AX, AY, BX, BY, CX, CY. So when we resolve it and then kita boleh tambah dia bila semua dalam x-axis, this is my AX, this is my BX, and I don't have a C. So now when they are in the same axis, baru saya boleh tambah. When saya boleh tambah, it becomes my RX. Okay. Saya dah bagi hint ni. Okay, can you revise your answer? What is RX?
Oh, okay, okay. 105.65
Okay.
plus
Tengok balik kat
minus
sini. Is it a plus? Minus.
53.168
Okay.
plus 0.
Plus 0. Good. Okay, so
Yeah.
what's the final answer?
52.27.
52.27.
27.
Okay, good job. Good job,
Oh.
Patricia. Okay, so now you
Thank you,
understand.
Doctor.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes.
So next one is RY Haris. Okay, RY Haris.
Okay. I add 56.34 plus 79.59
Okay.
and minus 150.
Okay. The answer is
I will get negative 14.047.
for negative 14.07. Okay. Newton.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I hope this is calculated correctly using your calculator because I'm not checking. Next one, R. R is Firna and then Hazira. Okay. Is Firna right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
R is 56.34.
R is 50.
No. 52.27.
Lagi sekali tak dengar.
52.
Okay.
52.27
Okay.
minus 40.07.
07. Oh, 14. 14, sorry, jap eh.
14.
Okay.
Get 38.2. 38.2.
Apa? Lagi sekali, sorry.
78.2.
78.2.
3.
3. Okay, jap. So your R is 78.23.
No, Doctor. 38.2.
38.2. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, kejap. So let's go back to your R. What is the general equation to find R? Apa equation general dia yang bukan nombor?
A plus B plus C.
Okay, itu vector plus C. Okay. But now I want to find the magnitude. This is not the equation for magnitude. So what's the equation for magnitude?
RX
Kuasa 2.
Rx kuasa 2 plus Ry kuasa 2. Okay. So lain tau, lain. When I'm asking what is R, I'm asking for the magnitude. Because when you answer for this guy, you have to give me the value, magnitude, and also the direction. This, when you add it like this, you don't get the direction, right? You only get the value. But this is also wrong. Okay, so Firna, can you revise your answer and tell me the actual answer? How should we do this? Faham tak, Firna?
So it's mean 52
Okay.
0.87 kuasa 2
Uh-huh.
plus minus lah kan doktor.
Boleh minus. Okay.
14.07
Okay.
power of 2
Okay.
square root.
Square root. Okay. Betul. Kat sini negative sign, you can put it there, and then when you square it, the negative sign goes away. Okay, ikut BODMAS. Don't know if you know what BODMAS. You should know what BODMAS mean, right? Okay.
Yes.
What's the answer?
Doktor,
Yep.
kayak RX squared tu 52.27 ke?
Oh, sorry. Saya salah dengar kot. Okay, 52.27. Thank you.
54.13.
13. Okay. So does this give me the magnitude, or does it give me the direction for now?
Magnitude.
Magnitude. Yes. Thank you. Okay, you got it. Okay, next one. Hazira. I want the theta.
The theta is tan inverse
Okay.
negative 14.07 over 52.27.
Okay.
The answer is negative 15.07.
So what can you say about this angle if it's negative? What can you say about this angle? I think kita dah cakap pasal ni. Positive angle versus negative angle. I have an x-axis. Going up is positive. What does negative mean?
Going down.
Yes, the angle is somewhere below here. Okay, and your resultant vector is somewhere here. Okay, this is x. This is your y-axis. Sorry, y-axis cacat sikit. Y. Okay, so your resultant vector is going below the x-axis. So this is why you get a negative 15.07. Okay. Okay, thank you, Hazira. Let's see if Hazira, Aizat, Haris, and everyone else is correct. Let me try the tip to tail method pula, okay? So we have like 2 minutes. I have to do this quickly. Speeding up. Let's do this. I should get something along this angle lah, okay? So let's try. So 20 this way, right? Tapi saya kena buat betul-betul sebenarnya kalau dapat jawapan betul. Okay, tak apalah. 96 goes here. Okay, and then it goes here. Tak boleh lah. Saya tak boleh pakai tip to tail kalau saya tak lukis betul-betul. I told you to use ruler and protractor, but I'm not using it. So can't do it actually. So we have to do using the insert shape. Okay, so let's try to imitate this guy over here. And then insert another one. Trying to do this quickly. Sama tak? Okay, sama. Then insert another one. Oops. Should be here. Okay. Lebih kurang lah. Tapi dalam exam jangan buat lebih kurang tau. Ni kita sebab kita tinggal 2 minit je. Tapi kalau korang tinggal 2 minit pun korang buat macam ni kot. Okay, so A add with B, right? Tip to tail. This is my A. This is my B. And then my C is here. Okay, and then our final resultant should go from the initial point to the end point. It doesn't work. So A, B, A, B. A is 120, B is 96. Oh, the scale over here is also incorrect. So 120 should be greater than 96. So 120 should be greater than 96, right? So in this case, the figure is incorrect. So if I try to copy back the figure and try to do the tip to tail, it doesn't work. So I can't do it. So I owe you guys a tip to tail in the next class, okay? So good job, everyone. I think you guys got it somewhat about this one. It is very relevant to your exam, so please try to do other exercises related to this if you can find any. Okay, so bye-bye. Take care. I'll see you next week or tomorrow. Next week.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you,
Thank
Doctor.
you, Doctor.
Good chapter.
Welcome.
Doctor.
Thank you, doctor. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Doctor.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.